Hello, everybody. Hello. Get started at the top of the hour here.
We were the top dogs, the kings of the house, but there's a new feline strutting about. She's got us feeling shaken, our tails between her legs. Ginger got us worried, but we ain't about to beg. We are the dogs, faithful and true. We won't back down. We'll see this through. We'll face this challenge. Rise to the test. We'll show them we're the very best.
Hey, everybody. All right, live on Instagram and Meta, Facebook. Echo to Instagram. 3, 2, 1, echo. We'll fight to the end. We'll show her who's Chris, are you good, or should I put you down just for a sec?
I'm ready.
You ready? Okay, perfect. Hey, it's good to see everybody.
We're the very best. We won't let her get the upper power. Even if we get started in the job, we'll show her who's spots in the scheme of cat and mouse. We'll rise to the top and win this bout.
All right, Chris, are you ready to get started?
I am.
Okay, somebody on Instagram was just asking where Bernoulli was at. So he's having a little snack.
Beer.
Yeah. He's having a little snack. All right, we're going to get our show on the road. Hello, pet enthusiasts. Welcome to Pet Chat. My name is Jason Zakowski. I'm the dog dad of Bunsen, Beaker, and Bernoulli, the science dogs on social media. My co-hostess with the mostest is...
Hi there, I'm Chris Zakowski, and I am the dog mom to Bunsen and Beaker and the cat mom to Ginger. You can see Ginger, in her, I'm screwing up here, in her catio having her supper.
Okay. Folks on Instagram saying there's no sound. So,
oh no!
I know. I don't know what happened there. We'll see if there's sound. Let's see now. There's a delay to Instagram, so let me know on Instagram if there is sound. I think I have it set up properly, so we can hear you. Okay, perfect. All right, awesome. All good. I have sound. Perfect. Okay, perfect. Well, welcome to Pet Chat, everybody. We're going to try a regular show where we have Kahoot, where we play a game at the start. Before we start the game, I'd like to give a shout out to our sponsor. We have a sponsor of Pet Chat. One of the sponsors of Pet Chat is barkandbeyondsupply.com. Barkandbeyondsupply.com is a small family-owned company that got started making joint supplements for dogs because there was a need. And we have their krill formation. Bunsen loves it. Actually, all the dogs love it. I think even the cat loves the krill formation. Check out barkandbeyondsupply.com and use the code Bunsen in all caps, BUNSEN, to save yourself a little dough. I'll have it on the Chiron in a second, the whole website for folks who are just tuning in. All right, thanks, Bark and Beyond. And somebody today will win a $20 gift certificate. Somebody from Instagram, actually. An Instagram watcher won the prize last week, so that's very cool. So are you playing Kahoot, Chris, or are you are you just gonna watch?
Well, we'll see. I really am worried about starting Kahoot and then not being able to continue Kahoot.
Oh,
In case the dogs need my support. But you have Bernoulli down there. So,
I do. Yeah, I froze a little treat for him, and he's just going to town on it. So
what treat did you give him?
I don't know. It's tough to show him. He's just in the corner there.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. I'm in our storage room where I do the podcast.
It's a spare bedroom.
It is a spare bedroom, but it's become a storage room of sorts where I am stored when I'm doing the podcast.
Well, and then also, everybody, look, I have a burner phone.
Yes, you have a burner phone. I need to put that back on the store. It's so old, Chris, that size of case is defunct. All right, so if you'd like to play Kahoot, we'll give everybody a few more seconds to log in. Like I said on the Instagram story, you have to. It's easier if you have two devices. I know not everybody has two devices, but if you go to kahoot.it, and then if you look at the little Chiron down there, the code is 3062582. You don't have to play. I'm going to share my screen. And the Kahoot is a little game. There's no prize. The prize is pride or fun. Like you just get to play. Okay, we're going to get started so we don't waste too much time here. So I'm going to share my screen. You can follow along. You can see there's a bunch of folks playing. Look at that. Okay. Are you on there as Slim Shady?
No, I'm on as Slim.
I see that.
Because I must have hit okay sooner. I was just rushing.
He is a bit rushing. Okay. So 5 questions, all about Bunsen and Beaker content, Bunsen Beaker Bernoulli content. I know Bernoulli is the popular dog on Instagram and Facebook right now. All right. So this week in text from Bunsen, what did Beaker say Bunsen was being held together with? Was it gum, silly putty, office supplies, or duct tape? So text from Bunsen had a really big reaction especially on Twitter. We got lots of messages that was both funny and sweet and made a lot of people cry. And I'm so sorry if I made you cry. That was never my intention. Yeah, it was office supplies. Why is it office supplies, Chris?
Because he's held together with staples.
Yeah, he is held together with staples. All right, next question. Aussie Miscreant is in first. It's a slider, Chris.
Ooh, my fave.
All right, what is the maximum amount of days Bernoulli has gone without mauling? So this is a brand new video from today. If you missed it, you might get it wrong.
And you need to select and hit submit.
Select and hit submit. That is true. Yep. Select and hit submit. This is true.
And my Kahoot says easy does it.
Yeah? Okay.
Yep.
We'll see. 1 second left. All right. Very dramatic here that when we end and this question ends. Oh, that was not dramatic. It just went right to it. Okay, well, it's 2. Yeah, Bernoulli's gone 2 days without mauling the cat, which is great.
Go, Bernoulli.
Yeah, he's becoming more gentle, a little less bitey, like a lot less bitey all of a sudden. Like, have you noticed it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually I would wake up and be like, hi, buddy, how are you? Let's get you out of your crate. And then he comes out and he's like, oh, hi, chomp on my shirt.
He's kind of
on my
chompy.
pants.
Yeah, he's kind of chompy.
on my shorts. And then he's like, this is funny. That hasn't been happening.
No.
As much. He does like my pockets because they have treats. And so he chomps us on. How am I not in first? Aussie Miscreant, I love you, but no.
What did Jason write about Beaker this week? As a really heartfelt little story I wrote on Twitter, and I turned it into a video and a series of cards for Instagram and Facebook. She was a chaos agent. She was the goodest girl. She was the cuddle bug. She was the sofa sponge. Yeah, she was the goodest girl. She's our goodest girl, Chris.
She is the best girl.
She is the goodest girl. We might talk a little bit about that when we get to sharing.
Cool and collected every day, all the day.
Yeah. Oh, it's tight for first. Okay. Which of the 3 dogs did Jason... Oh, there's a typo there. Which of the 3 dogs did Jason say was the most friendly to all? So that's a relatively new post. Long post on Twitter and a series of cards on Instagram. Was it Bernoulli, Ginger, Beaker, or Bunsen? And I said it was Bernoulli. I think he's the most friendly of all the dogs, like all around.
All around super stats.
Yeah.
Friendly, 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5. Wisdom, 1 out of 5.
He's smart.
He's a good boy. Oh, last question. It's a tough one. You have to listen to our podcast. On the Science Podcast, we talked about which household appliance that could house dangerous bacteria. So that's the show that Chris and I do once a week. It's on all podcast players. The oven, the fridge, the sink, the microwave. What was it? What is it? What was it? What is it? It is the microwave. Yeah. There's some bacteria.
9 people got it right.
Yeah, there's some bacteria that survive those the magnetic waves in there and the high temperatures.
I was talking to Adam about that, and he said it's low EMR.
Low EMR, but it's still microwaves. All right, Aussie Miscreant in third. Second place, we have Slim Shady. Chris. Oh! So, Kat. Congratulations, Kat. You have defeated Kristen.
Wow.
Got defeated. All right. So if you're new to Pet Chat, hello to our community all over the place. So we've got a whole schwack of people listening to audio only on X or Twitter. We've got people watching live on Twitter and Facebook. And then we've got people watching and listening on Instagram. So hello. Okay. Bernoulli's right there. Great. I just making sure he isn't eating something he shouldn't.
Well, he does like chewing books.
Mm-hmm. That's how he learns that way.
Well, you're going to learn not to put them where he can reach them.
This is true.
This is true because you were sent 2 books to read from potential guests that you're interviewing on the Science Podcast.
Yes.
And one of them I had to rescue from him today.
That's ironic. He's eating the book about dog training.
Yeah, about dog intelligence. And I was like, I should have. Well, I didn't want to because if you get it on video, then the person might feel disrespected.
That's true.
The book isn't taken care of.
Yeah, it's good marketing though. Maybe. Yeah, read this book so this doesn't happen to your dog. Yeah. Bernoulli's eating it.
Pretty much. That was today.
Okay, so we're going to move to Chris and I are going to tell a couple updates of the week, and then we're going to move to community sharing. Chris, do you want to start with a story or an update?
Do you want me to update about Bunsen?
Sure, you can update about Bunsen. I'm sure people want to know.
Okay, I'll see if he's around.
Is he around?
He is around. Of course he's around. I'm just going to move this here, and I'm going to move this here, and I'm going to say
so this
hello.
Is interactive. So people on audio, Chris is like moving the camera. Oh, there's he, good boy.
Bunsen, good boy. And we're going to back up. I don't know if you can still hear me though.
Yeah,
so
we can hear
really
you.
Loud.
Yeah, we can hear you.
So Bunsen's hair is growing in.
Yeah.
And Jason has a really funny video that he made about that. I don't know when it's going to go on social media.
Probably tomorrow. Maybe never.
Tomorrow. It's okay. Anyway, so here he is. Look at his eyes. Show them your eyes.
I know. He is so
alert and he is so
he's just bright.
I don't know, he's not in pain, he's not in distress.
Yeah.
He's like his happy resting. So he has RBF, resting Bunsen face, which is happy.
He's so happy all the time.
He's so happy all the time. Like he is such a sweetheart. I love him.
Yeah.
He notices I move the camera. So
yeah.
He's like,
I don't want to be on camera. Don't show my belly. Don't show my shaved belly.
He's showing it off. Ladies and gentlemen, it goes from here all the way. It matches on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is Bunsen, super happy, super healthy. And what? I'm wondering if his head is growing back. So if you're not familiar with our story.
Oh my God, I can't.
If you're okay, you don't want me to talk about it?
No, go ahead, because I think you're right.
Okay. So what happened was in June, like right after we got Bernoulli. I took both dogs to, Bernoulli, I wanted to get him microchipped. There he is. And I said, hey, Bunson's due for his Bordetella. Can I bring both dogs in? And they're like, yep, bring both dogs in. They really wanted to see, Bernoulli, because he's, the star of the show. And then at that time, I said, she's like, oh, how's Bunsen doing with his earache and his ear infection and stuff? No. Sorry. I'm going to hit mute for a second, Jay, and I'll be right back.
Okay. We'll have to, as it's a live show and Bunson's probably barking at somebody who's come to the door. That's okay. I'll finish just a little bit of the update about him. Yesterday was his last day on crate rest. So he's done great for 2 weeks. He's been on crate rest. Inside the house, if he's not on crate rest, he has to be on leash. He was only allowed outside for very short periods of time to use the washroom. He had to learn how to use a ramp because he wasn't allowed to use the stairs. So we've just been super impressed with him. He's really sucked it up. And this Thursday he goes for his if he's healing okay, his staples come out. And then we also will find out the biopsy results of the massive growth that was inside him. So we're maybe a little, we're maybe a little stressed out about that. But the thing is that he's recovered from like a near death thing. So that's awesome. Okay, over to you, Chris, if you want to finish talking about his head. I explained his health and the checkup on Thursday.
Right. So we had noticed, like, right after we got Bernoulli, Bunsen, his head seemed to be squished in on the right-hand side. So it turns out he wasn't chewing on his right-hand side at all. Mm-hmm. And he went for an MRI test and things like that. So pause 2-3, they removed this large growth. Maybe it was pushing on a nerve in there or something. And I'm hopeful thinking, wishful thinking that his head is, his muscle is growing back in his head, or maybe it is. I think it is.
Yeah, his head is changing. It's not as bony. So I was wrong. Maybe it's a coincidence.
Could be.
But I know you're going to ask Dr. Keys about that on Thursday.
I'm going to ask. Hello. Hi. Can we talk about muscle atrophy and his masticulation muscles when he chews? Do you think maybe? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because it came back inconclusive, right?
Yeah, they didn't know why it happened.
Yeah, like the results came back inconclusive. He didn't have that locked jaw. No cancer on his, oh my goodness, it's
some kind of trigeminal nerve.
Yeah, the trigeminal nerve.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. So we're crossing our fingers that, of course, the biopsy comes back and it's not anything too serious. And if it is, I'm sure they'll have a treatment plan. In the end, we have more time with the big guy, right? And that's, you can't put a price on that, or you can't put anything on that. We're just so happy that his recovery is going well. So that's the update on Bunsen. So for me, my story this week is going to be a twofer. I'm just going to give a quick recap of how awesome Beaker has been during this whole ordeal. When Bunsen first came home, I know I mentioned that there's Beaker. She's a good girl. That Beaker stood guard over Bunsen. Definitely his first night when he was so out of it from drugs and in quite a lot of pain. She slept next to him. She slept on the couch next to him. And then for the next week, when he was out of sorts still, she would chase Bernoulli away if he was messing with the crate, which was kind of cute. And she always wanted to be inside Bunsen's crate. And then we had to make the crate a little smaller, and she would sleep beside it. And now that Chris and I are back at work, because it was prep week for teachers in Alberta, what was really cute is we have the Furbo on Bunsen, and Bernoulli, Beaker would constantly go and check on Bunsen throughout the day. And he had a little, Bunsen cried once, and Beaker scurried over to see him on the furbo because we get alerted when there's movement, and we're like, oh no, what's going on? So that was very, very sweet. So shout out to the Golden Wolf. She's the goodest girl. And then I'll just tell a quick story about Bernoulli. I took Bernoulli to my school on Friday, and man, was he a hit, and he was so good with the kids. Well, school hasn't started, and I wasn't actually teaching yesterday. There was hundreds of kids in the school getting their books and changing classes and checking out their lockers, and new kids were being taken on a tour by the leadership kids. So Bernoulli got to hang out with and see a ton of different kids, and he was so friendly and gentle. And he does this thing where like he'll lean in backwards and then look up into the person's eyes and lock with them. And this one girl said, she's like, oh man, that was a spiritual experience after petting Bernoulli for a couple minutes. And an administrator, one of the vice principals, was walking through, and she saw Bernoulli, and he like laid back into her, and he went, ugh, and she rubbed his belly, and he just looked into her eyes. And she's like, boy, I've been having a stressful day, and this is all better now. So our little brave Bernoulli, he is so good with the public, which is awesome. He's as warm and friendly as Beaker, because Beaker's very outgoing with people. So that's my Bernoulli story. Over to you, Chris.
I came home today, and Jason was wearing his survival suit. Mm-hmm. And the survival suit is for winter. And so it's supposed to keep him warm, like in minus 40, minus 50 degrees Fahrenheit weather. Mm-hmm. And so he's wearing that, and he's wearing a toque. And it's probably, 27 degrees Celsius today, almost 30.
Not going to lie, it was a little hot.
A little warm. And he's got gloves on, and he's holding a saw. What? I know. So I'm like, what is going on? So we've had a little bit of I'm not going to lie. It's been a great spring because it wasn't super wet. So we didn't have the same amount of mosquitoes that we normally do. Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Yeah.
But when it's hot and dry, you know what comes? Wasps. And so we have this tree that the wasps are kind of in, but they don't look like they're going to a nest at all. And so now today, Jason's been looking at this. He's like, I can't find your nozzle for the hose, so I can't spray it. So he's walking towards the tree, and then he's chopping down, cutting off branches in the hopes that he sees where the nest is. Mm-hmm. But you didn't get swarmed. Like it's bizarre.
No, there's no wasp nest in that tree. I chopped down all of the overhang. I would have got attacked by a million wasps. That's why I was wearing all that protection, because I'm kind of allergic to stings now. But anyways, nothing. I don't know where the wasp nest is. It ain't in a tree. What does this have to do with Pet Chat, though?
Well, you just said sharing stories of the week.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I didn't die.
But I'm not gonna lie. It's been annoying having the wasps there, because typically we would take Ginger out to her catio, and even though it's not close, I don't want Ginger to get stung in her catio.
Yeah, exactly.
So if there's any strategies to get rid of wasps, I've done two things. One is suggest that Jason use the hose. And then two, I made wasp traps.
Oh, you got a bunch.
2 liter. Did I? I got a 2 liter bottle.
Yeah.
And then you snip it, and then you turn the lid upside down, and then you put sugary water in the bottom. And then they go in, and then they can't get out. Oops. I just use the one shot and murder them all with chemical spray. Yeah, but we should do a preface that normally no animals are hurt during our show.
Oh, wasps are an exception because they're jerks.
Wasps are an exception.
Yeah.
And then when
Ginger
got that mouse that one time, there was.
Okay. Well, that mouse went into Ginger's catio, and it deserved its fate. So
yeah,
that's what happens. You got to check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Yeah.
Well, should we move to community sharing? We've got our stories out of the way, and now we're going to invite folks to share some stories. So, Chris, if you want to bring up a couple people on Twitter audio,
I do.
Okay, perfect. So if you'd like to speak on audio, we can bring you up. That's the cool thing about Twitter audio is it's interactive that way. I'll go through Instagram and read some of the comments. If you want to type a comment for me to read or a story about your pet or some kind of question, we can definitely read that out. And there's a bunch of questions on Instagram and comments. So I'm going to start with just a few of those as you bring people up. Buyers 117 said, years ago when I had to pay for a damaged library book, the librarian said dog training books were the most frequently damaged. That's funny.
That is funny, probably because people are getting them to help train their dog, and then the dog is already a shenanigan mischief maker. That's what I should have shared. When Bernoulli went to doggy training, him and Coda were mischief makers together.
Yeah, they get into trouble.
Because they are like the smart kids in the class that are goofing off. That's my dog.
One more question from Instagram, and then we'll go to the first speaker you brought up. Mellow Daish says, are Bernese prone to benign tumors? And I can't answer that question. They are prone to certain types of cancer, but I'm not a vet to tell you the rate. I think a lot of big dogs are prone to some types of cancers. Okay, Chris, go ahead. Who's our first speaker?
So we'll go with Jen C, then Susan, and then Holly, also known as Sasha, the Bernodoodle. Mm-hmm. So we'll say hi to Jen. Go ahead.
Hi. Can I talk about the wasps?
Go for it.
Oh, yes, please.
Oh, yeah. So they're really bad here in Saskatchewan. And, we don't want to hurt any living creature, but there's some wasp traps that work pretty good.
Okay.
And they're cheap. I don't want to advertise Amazon, but they're there. And you can put beer in it because they love beer, or you can just do a honey and sugar solution. And they die pretty quickly. And my 84-year-old parents are watching this as a sport, right? I hate wasps. And just to be clear that we don't want them to suffer, even though they're wasps. My dad trapped one in a beer bottle, and I made him do something with it fast instead of it lingering there for 24 to 48 hours. Mm-hmm. But they've been really, really bad here. The other thing you can do if you don't want to kill the wasps is you can get paper wasp nests and put them up where you don't want the wasp, and they'll think there's a nest there, and they won't come around there.
Oh, I've heard that. Yes, you kind of shove them away. That's interesting. Yeah. I like that.
So that's my comment about wasps. And no one wants to hurt anything, but wasps, like you say, they're jerks. So thanks for letting me speak. But those paper wasp things work really, really well. And they'll direct the wasp to another part of the yard.
That's fine. They just can't be on our deck. So maybe I'll put one up in the tree.
And they really work well. So
that's a great idea. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks. Good to hear from everyone here. Good.
Perfect. Question from X Video before we go to our next speaker. Did Bunsen go to puppy school? And he did. Yeah, Bunsen went to puppy preschool, and he went through level 1, 2, and 3. So he has the highest level training that our area of Alberta can allow beyond like taking him to service training or facility dog or anything like that. So that's why he's such a good boy, as we did invest quite a bit of time with the very excellent Waggles. Shar and crew did a great job helping us train Bunsen. Beaker went through most of that. It was a bit derailed because of COVID. And we're hoping to put Bernoulli through everything just like Bunsen was through. Okay, who's our next speaker, Chris? It's Bunsen.
Well, we had Susan. So we're going to go to Sasha, and then there's another Susan that I'm going to bring up. So we'll go to Holly.
Okay.
Hi, guys. It's good to be back listening to Pet Chat. I'm in the right time zone again. So the last couple of weeks, we were in Europe, actually, in the Norwegian fjords, which if you ever get a chance to see the fjords, just do it. It's one of the most incredible things I've ever seen in my life. But while we were gone, was when Bunsen had his crisis.
Mm,
And of course, that week was just awful because it started baseball poodle passed away.
yeah, very
Then
sad.
Beetle passed away.
Hmm.
And then of course there was everything with Bunsen, and I found out about it ironically from my husband, who's no longer on Twitter, but he's on Blue Sky, and
Mm.
Darth found out about it. And Darth had
Wow.
posted. And so I wake up and my husband's like, "Oh my God, you have to go check on Bunsen." I just, saw
Mm.
that Darth had, mentioned what was happening. And so, with the time zone difference and everything, I'm like, "Oh God, I'm going to be asleep when Bunsen's in his surgery, and I'm so worried about him." And, it's amazing how attached you get to dogs you've never met before. But, and I will tell you an animal related story from the trip that I think you guys will really appreciate. So in Bergen, Norway, the city's actually surrounded by like 7 mountains.
Mhm.
And there's a tram that goes up to one of them from kind of the center of town. So I took the tram up there and I get up there and I'm walking around and there's all these goats that are up there. And they're like incredibly tame. Like they're just coming up to you and demanding you pet them. And it was just the coolest thing I had ever seen. I had never seen goats that were not on a farm that were just that tame and really liked people that much. And I got a cute picture of one who had just decided that standing up was just too much work and just plopped down in the middle of the path and was like, "I'm here. It's all good. Come by and pet me." So I just thought that was the neatest thing, animal related thing I saw on that trip. And it was like, oh my God, they're goats and they're so cute. Um, when you were talking about the books and the chewing,
Hmm.
so um, Sasha was not a book chewer, but our previous dog was. And I will tell you how my husband cured this. So, what he did is he took a paperback that he just didn't care about at all, and he soaked it in bitter apple,
Oh
and
no.
then left it where Sophia would get it. And we know she got it because it was moved, but she never went near a book ever again after that.
Was it soggy or did it dry?
It dried first,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like he had it dry first and then put it out for and leave it somewhere she would get it.
Oh, no more books.
So that's my suggestion if you're worried that Bernoulli's going to get a hold of something of value in the book department. So
I think we got to soak some of our charger cable cords in bitter apple, Chris.
yeah. Well, it wasn't
We've
just
lost
that.
a couple.
Yep. We did that with her. The other thing at the time, we had this fake tree in our living room that was in a pot of like bark chips, and she was trying to eat the bark chips. So we soaked the bark chips in bitter apple as well, and that got her to not get into those either. So, so yeah, just my suggestion, and I also agree that wasps are a-holes, and because I'm a city dweller, my first thought is call the exterminator.
Oh, nope.
Well, we live in a townhouse, and we had a yellow jacket nest earlier this summer that was between our unit and the unit next door,
Mhm.
in the back where the patios are, and I refused to go out there until that thing was gone. I was just like, I'm not going outside, not happening.
Yeah. You can get stung multiple times very, very quickly from like a wasp nest. Like, like it isn't uncommon if you're not dressed properly and you do it wrong to get like 10 to 20 stings, like it can
Oh,
be a rough go.
yeah, and it's not like they're not like bees. Like bees actually, they pollinate and they're good for, our environment and everything. It's like wasps and yellow jackets, just they can just go away. Don't need them. So
We'll have to
anyway,
get a wasp. I've talked to a wasp scientist before that specializes in parasitistic wasps.
oh
And if you
wow.
think normal wasps are a little bit of an a-hole, those parasitic wasps, they are on another level of a-holeness.
Oh my God.
Nightmare fuel. Do not YouTube search it.
Okay, I will not. But anyway, I'm so glad that Bunsen is doing well and that he's off crate rest, and give him a big hug from his Aunt Holly.
Will do. Yeah, he wanted a big hug this morning. He wanted like a big 5-minute hug. It was pretty sweet. Love that lug. Hey, Chris, we got a good question from Instagram. J Carton 1. I started seeing your Instagram account recently when you showed Bernoulli chasing your cat. Yeah, we had a it's an ongoing thing on all social medias with Bernoulli interacting with Ginger. I had the same problem with my schnoodle chasing my cat, and I wonder if you have any tips to stop this. Well, I think we can talk about the procedure and parasitic. Yeah, parasitic. Maybe I said it wrong, TK. Sorry. Anyways, so initially we just let it happen because we assumed that Ginger would put Bernoulli in his place. Right? Like we're like, oh, if Bernoulli is a puppy and is roughhousing a bit with the cat has incredibly sharp claws and teeth and will let Bernoulli know very quickly.
Well, she let Beaker know, and
yeah.
Beaker was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. She fought back with Beaker, and she hit Bunsen a couple times, and then he's like, oh, okay, whatever. Never again will we have an interaction until I have life-saving surgery.
But then we started seeing it happen.
Yeah.
And so it was happening right actually around the time that Bernoulli was going to puppy school. Mm-hmm. And we were learning something called Leave It.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, this might really work for Bernoulli and the cat. And our trainer, Shar, said, well, Leave It is for poison. Leave It is for things you absolutely do not want the dog to have. But you want the dog to kind of be with the cat and not see her as poison. So Leave It might not be the clue that you're going to be successful in using. Mm-hmm. So what I would do is he would start to go for the cat, and then I would call him off and say, Bernoulli, and then he would come to me and I would give him a treat. So positive reinforcement for the behavior coming off of the cat.
Yeah.
And that seemed to work a little bit, but it's not 100%. Jason, do you have more to add?
No, that's exactly what we did. Is we didn't punish Bernoulli. There was a couple people who had some comments were like, get rid of your dog. The dog's a puppy. Puppies are gonna bite and chew anything. But we didn't let the roughhousing go on for more than half a second. After a couple of the videos, we're like, okay, this is clearly not working. So instead of videoing the interaction to see if Ginger would fight back, we had a plan to redirect Bernoulli. But you kind of have to you don't want to have the dog never interact with the cat and like keep them away from the cat. So we started to just watch Bernoulli like a hawk, and as soon as the interaction became biting, then Chris would redirect. And in any of the videos you've seen, I'm filming, and then what you don't see is Chris redirecting Bernoulli. And he's gotten so much better with his interactions with Ginger. As you can see, he's gone 2 days without having any negative interaction. So that's like any biting. So there's a suggestion. Yeah. So redirect positive reinforcement to something else. And then if the cat isn't fighting back, just start really monitoring their interactions, because Ginger is just too kind, I guess. She's a odd cat, I guess. All right, we'll go to Susan on audio. Thanks for waiting, Susan. Go ahead.
Sure. Well, I just want to say that Chris is right. And Jason, I'm sure, you understand that just as a general rule.
Yeah, she's always right.
Of course. But I had an old chocolate lab, and when he was maybe 12 or 13, he started to lose his voice. Like when he would bark, it was just kind of hoarse. And that stayed with him the rest of his life. And then about 6 months after that, I noticed a couple other things. One was in his head, that he started to lose kind of his muscle mass in his head. It was on both sides. And also his back like his back end got weak, his back legs got weak, which, normally think in a bigger dog, that's hip dysplasia, that's just age, that's whatever.
Yeah.
Turns out all three of those things were connected.
Wow.
And
How?
Well, it was something, actually, Michigan State was doing a study on it, and I had a functional vet who was fantastic and knew about this, and it was called GOLPP. It's geriatric onset laryngeal paralysis polyneuropathy. How's
Wow.
that? So
Yeah.
it was all connected because it wasn't muscular like the legs. It wasn't muscular. It wasn't bone. It was neuropathy. So it was all nerve related,
That is
and
so interesting.
it was all connected. Yeah. So I'm going with Chris on this one. I think somehow this is connected in Bunsen.
I said last pet chat. No, it was with the Paw Pack. So we have we have a paid community called the Paw Pack. It's like our Patreon. And I said I'll have to get a great big bowl of crow and eat that if Chris is right. So
absolutely.
I don't know where we can find some crow, Chris. I might have to eat some of it later.
I think you're going to need it. And just really quick, one more thing. I was listening to NPR this morning. I think This American Life, and the theme was rats for whatever reason, and they were talking about how hard it is to get rid of rats and all that, and that any place that is inhabited by people has rats except Alberta, Canada.
Yeah, we're rat free.
And it was this whole rat-free Alberta thing. So congratulations.
I until I went to New York, I'd never seen a rat in my life before. I didn't know what they looked. Yeah, I didn't even know what they looked like.
Wow.
I was shocked. I was like, boy, they're kind of big. They're kind of spooky. What is that? I was fascinated by. They were like, where were we? We were like in Central Park, and there's a bunch of them like hiding under a fern. They're just like, and like, what is that? Are those squirrels? And then I was like looking down. I'm like, those are weird looking squirrels. And then I think Chris said, Jason, there's rats. You look like a weirdo. Quit staring at the rats. And I was like, I'm from Alberta. We don't have rats. We killed them all.
Well, I don't know how you did it because I actually had to get out of the car at that point before they explained how it happened. But congratulations.
There's a whole division of the government that if there's ever a rat sighting, they go and eradicate it. So that's what I've been told. Maybe it's a conspiracy theory and they put something in our water and it makes us blind to rats, and what we think are squirrels are actually rats. So I don't know. Do you know what, Chris? You're from BC. When you were growing up in BC, what did the BCites say about us Albertans?
Well,
about rats?
That it was a rat-free province, and I'd never seen a rat though in BC either.
Okay.
I lived in the Lower Mainland in Abbotsford.
Did you see a raccoon?
I never saw a raccoon, but we had a raccoon on our trail cam because our beaver is bringing all the wildlife to the yard. Jason wrote a song about that.
I did?
Did you? Yeah, you did. You said our beavers bring all the wildlife to the yard. Something is better than yours. Like you did the whole thing. Don't you remember? Like 2 weeks ago?
Did I sing it?
No. Jason, you don't sing.
I don't. I think I just made it up on the spot.
On the spot, yeah.
Okay, well, Bernoulli has eaten the nub off of the doorstop. He's like whamming it with his paw over here.
Oh. So that happens. So there's a couple things that maybe are not positives, I guess, about Bernoulli. One is he likes to chew the knobs off those doorstops, and he likes to play with the doorstops. But then there's one in our bathroom, and it's kind of on a bit of a curve. And he likes to chew that, what's it called, baseboard? Yeah. So he likes to chew baseboard when he's in the bathroom. So what we like to do is, well, I don't know. Should we just share what we do?
I don't know.
I like to have him with me. And so if I'm having a shower, he'll be on the mat. And then we have the gorilla, it's like a gorilla tree thing that he can chew because he likes chewing the baseboard. Look at that face.
He is very, very cute.
Yeah. So you can't be mad at that face.
And
but you can also say, please don't chew the baseboard. Here's something that you can chew. And he's like, yeah, I don't want to chew that. That's what I'm supposed to chew.
The problem is like he's huge. He's bigger than Beaker now, and he's still a puppy. So it's kind of like weird because he looks like a puppy and he acts like a puppy, but he's ginormous. So it's actually kind of fun. I think he's really fun. Man, and he's so good with the public too, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can probably sneak him into the school while I'm teaching. Do we have any more speaker requests? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, we are not paying attention. Sorry. We've got a lot going on here with the show.
Hi, Snickerdoodle.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Last weekend before summer's over.
Yep. A little bittersweet.
Yeah. When my dog was a puppy, he used to play with that doorstop thing. It seems to be a fascination with him. But the story I was going to tell about chewing things, one day my husband was supposed to be looking after the puppy, but he was absorbed on the computer, and I came in. Yeah, yeah. And I came into the room, and the puppy was chewing on one of my best sandals.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I pointed this out to my husband, and he said, oh, dear. So the next day he came home with a shoebox. He had gone after work. He had gone into a shoe store, told the clerk what had happened, and she said, oh, we better find a really nice pair of sandals for you. So he came home with a beautiful pair of sandals for me. And he kept an eye on the puppy after that. But our dog actually was pretty good about not chewing things. We were very lucky with him.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, yeah. And
Bunsen. Sorry, go ahead. No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
I'm coughing here. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask Chris, which of the three was the most chewy and destructive?
Bunsen was the most destructive of my flowy work clothes and my pajama pants and basically anything fabric, shred, rip. Beaker chewed my shoes. She wasn't as bad. But Bernoulli really likes Birkenstocks, and those are an expensive sandal. And Jason's like, oh, he's chewing your Birkenstock again. But he doesn't know they're Birkenstocks. He just calls them sandals. He's chewing your shoe again. And so that happens. The biggest culprit, though, is Jason, because you used to wash and dry my shoes all the time.
I'm the most destructive. Is that what you're saying?
You're the winner.
I am the most destructive dog in the house. I tell you, I wound up in the doghouse. So it's true.
The one thing that fascinates me about Bernoulli are his eyes. They're so expressive.
There's something else. It's like he's not real, hey? It's like he's an AI version of a puppy.
Oh, and he looks like a giant plushie in some of his pictures. He's just priceless. He really is.
We're just so lucky. Like he's just sitting here looking. He heard his name. Bernoulli. Oh, hi. Yeah, he's got some kind of like gaze. Like his focusing gaze is intense. And he does have those goobery expressions too, which is just really fun.
Hopefully he will keep those when he grows up. They're not just a puppy thing.
Us too.
Yeah. Anyway, everyone, have a good weekend. Enjoy the last days of summer.
Awesome. There's a question from Instagram. Thank you very much. Also, there's Snickerdoodle. Blossom.Polly says, is that Bernoulli? Yep, that's Bernoulli. He's hanging with me in the room down here. It helps with our live show, having the dogs separated. And he is so bright. Yeah, he is. He's got his little eyes they look right into your soul. Harlequin mask markings, Ariana says. BC has rats, doesn't it? Yeah, they do. Teresa White says Bernoulli is trending on Twitter again. People have been sending me screenshots of Bernoulli trending all day. I don't know why. I don't know what I posted. TK says I love his gaze, and then Anne McWeeny says my dog as a puppy ate the ironing board cover while it was hanging on the back of the door. 6-inch hole in the cover. Oh my god, that's destructive. Okay, I think we don't have any more speakers. I think we should probably move to do a little bit of wrap up and then award the prize, Chris.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, so I do want to thank everybody who supported us with the. Just let me take this down. Sorry, I can't focus with that up there. There we go. With our pre-sale of the Bunsen and Beaker calendar, we're sold out. Like we have none left. We sold 100% of all of our calendars during the pre-sale. So I'm so sorry if you didn't get one. Chris and I might have to reevaluate maybe in October about doing another calendar sale, but we sold out of the Bunsen and Beaker calendars and they're on their way. So we're getting labels ready and all of the prep work to send them out. Like there's hundreds of them we got to send out. So I want to thank everybody who picked up one. Thank you so much for picking up a calendar. We really appreciate that. The calendar stickers that some of you are getting, Chris and I, we put a lot of like care into their design. So I hope you have a lot of fun with them. I don't know how many calendar stickers are on that sheet, Chris, like 60 some or something. It's wild. The Cricket had a workout making all those calendar stickers. That's for sure.
There's like 54.
There's 54. Okay.
On each. Yeah.
Yeah. And Text from Bunsen volume 3. We should have that ready to go as a pre-sale at the end of September, which is we're so ahead of where we were last year. So Chris and I, we wrote the book Text from Bunsen 3 during the summer, and it's going through the third round of proofreading, the ebook as well, and I'm finishing up the audiobook. It's like 70% done. The audiobook takes forever because I have to do all of these different voices. Oh, cannot do that. Sorry. Chris, do you want to talk? I've got to stop Bernoulli from eating something here.
Yeah, I'd like to talk, but the minute I start to talk, then Bunsen starts to bark. You may have seen I put his cone on because I didn't want him to be licking his wound at all. But Jason, if you could talk because he's all done.
Okay. So look for that in the future, and we should do a draw. Chris, can you just double check how many people are on Twitter on audio? Please drop a comment if you're live so we know that you're there, and then I'll put you in the random draw for the gift card from barkandbeyondsupply.com.
47 here on audio spaces.
47 on audio. Okay, we'll give some people some time to make a comment. Yeah, drop a comment if you're watching live on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook so we know you're here. The Text from Bunsen 1 and 2 is on our store, Ice Goddess, and we will have a big marketing campaign when Text from Bunsen 3 comes out. But we sold out of the books, the hard copy books for Text from Bunsen 1 and 2. Actually, there might be a 1 or 2 hard copies left of Text from Bunsen 2. That's maybe we have some in our store, but the audiobook and the ebook are digital, so they're still there. Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, Bernoulli just sniffed the phone. I thought he quit spaces. Okay. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, and Chris said 47, so that is 59. Okay, random number 59. All right, bear with me. I've got Bernoulli. I'm typing with one hand. He's so big. Okay, All right. Here we go. Look how big this guy is. Are you a goober? You're a goober. I love you too. It's 13. Oh. Okay. It went down. Just a second. Okay, go that way. There you go. All right. 13. Sorry, everybody. It's a little chaotic. 4, 8, 12. 13 is Malika Ebert, assistant professor at NDSU. Malika, you have won the gift certificate. Malika is listening on Twitter audio right now. Thank you, everybody, for entering. Malika, if you DM barkandbeyondsupply.com, they will hook you up with your prize. And for anybody that wants to support a small business and skip the big box store, we'd love for you to support our sponsor, barkandbeyondsupply.com. And if you are listening and you want to check out what we have going on, check out our links in our bio. You'll find our stuff there. Chris, are you good to do a wrap up, or is it a little chaotic there, the wrap up?
I can say goodbye.
Okay, so I'll get that going. All right, we've kind of hit the max attention span of the dogs. This was good. We did a full show today, a full normal show. So thank you for everybody who's joined us from Twitter Audio, X Audio or X Spaces, X Video, Instagram, and Facebook. We've brought together our community, which is really cool. Thank you for watching Pet Chat. Pet Chat is at the same time every single week, 8 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Mountain Time. And probably we'll have a little less content in the next while because Chris and I are back at work full time, and it's hit the ground running kind of thing as a teacher for the first couple weeks. So I can't guarantee a ton of content. Sorry, I'm just blocking Bernoulli from eating a cord with my foot. Go, Chris. Hey.
Hey, thank you everybody for coming. We really appreciate you as our community and listening to our shenanigans with the dog and the cats and all the stuff that we've got going on here. We really enjoy sharing this time with you, and have a great week.
All right. Take care, everybody. Hey. Okay. All right. Goodbye, everybody.